Hello, everyone. I first want to thank Flat Earth Dave and the Flat Earth Podcast for providing some of the details for this Flat Earth proof. I also want to thank Pablo's dog for recommending and reminding me of this evidence. As I have discussed before, if we lived on a ball, it's axiomatic that all aircraft must continually dip their noses to account for the curvature of the Earth. If a commercial airline flies at 575 miles per hour, in just 10 minutes of flight, the airplane would have to drop approximately 6,123 feet to maintain level flight. That's a huge adjustment. Over the years, I've heard several explanations from globe proponents as to how aircraft make these necessary adjustments for the curvature of the Earth. Some have claimed that the pilot himself makes the adjustment. But wouldn't pilots sometimes forget over just a few minutes to make an adjustment and endanger their aircraft and passengers? Other globe proponents have said that the alleged force of gravity causes the airplane to automatically adjust for the curvature. But wouldn't the nose of the airplane have to be pulled downward more than the airplane itself? Also, flight is essentially defying so-called gravity. Are these curvature adjustments something different? Most globe proponents seem to now claim that air pressure causes the airplane to adjust automatically for the supposed curvature of the Earth. The problem with that is that air pressure still must inexplicably pull the nose of the airplane downward, and air pressure is far from constant at any elevation, and so level flight would be difficult to maintain. I am not going to argue the merits of these claims further in this video. What I do want to discuss is whether there is any evidence that the airplane does indeed adjust its nose downward to account for the curvature of the Earth, as it must if we lived on a ball. Because if there is no downward curvature adjustment during flight, then there is no globe. It's that simple. And that is probably why so many pilots have figured out the Earth is flat. But there is another way to make this determination: the stars. We are going to analyze an amazing time-lapse filmed by a pilot on a flight from Munich, Germany to Sao Paulo, Brazil. You can find the unedited version on this website. Please note that this Beyond Clouds website has no association with the Flat Earth, which means this evidence comes from an unbiased party. The distance for the full flight from Munich to Sao Paulo is over 6,000 miles, but the recording was only for approximately 3,000 miles. That begins before Palma, located on the island of Majorca, Spain, and the video ends before the equator after the plane passes Dakar, Senegal, on the western coast of Africa. Of course, some movement of the stars is expected with any time lapse. Keep in mind that when you're in the north and facing southwest, like in this flight, the stars should rotate in a downward slant to the right and clockwise motion, somewhat like this. For this time lapse, we're going to track these two stars. The one on top seems to have a tail of stars that rise up and to the left. It's easy to spot. For brevity, I'm going to speed up the footage. The plane is going to adjust its heading left and right a few times, but try to keep an eye out for those two stars. There are the two stars again. Here they are over on the right side. They have dropped a little, but here they are again. And that's the end of the time lapse. This is the beginning position of the stars. Approximately 3,000 miles later, here is the ending position. As expected, the star slightly rotated clockwise and dropped slightly. You can even see how the star on top with the tail looks a little bigger and has rotated clockwise. So, what is the problem with this time lapse for the globe? The problem is that the plane has to be dipping its nose to account for the alleged curvature of the Earth. For simple illustration, if I had a stunning view of the stars at the beginning of my flight, as time progresses and the nose of the plane drops to account for the curvature of the Earth, the stars should appear to rise up like this, In fact, the nose of the airplane is allegedly dropping while the stars, which are somewhat fixed and allegedly separate from the Earth, should appear to rise up if we lived on a ball. But you don't need to believe my illustrations. Fortunately, Google Earth allows us to model this same flight with the stars in the background and shows us exactly what would happen if we lived on a globe. For this Google Earth model, I used our distance of roughly 3,000 miles on the exact same flight route that I showed earlier. I set the altitude at 10,000 meters or 32,800 feet. Remember, this is how the globe should work. Now, watch the stars. There's no question about it. As the viewpoint continually dips, the stars rise up, exactly as we would logically expect if we lived on a ball. The stars are not just rising up a little bit, which would be open to debate. The upward movement is huge and unmistakable. But the real-life time-lapse did not show stars rising at all. Instead, the stars only rotated clockwise and moved downwards a little. The wrong direction for an airplane traveling 575 miles per hour and adjusting for the curvature of the Earth. There is no rising movement of the stars exhibiting any sign of the curvature adjustment required by the globe. The commercial jet is flying over a flat Earth. Here's another example that I found, filmed by a passenger from the side of the aircraft. But again, there is no movement of the stars, indicating a jet that is adjusting for the curvature of the Earth. Going back to the first flight, let's say I got the distance of 3,000 miles wrong. And so let's shorten our flight to just 2,500 miles. That starts just before Palma de Mallorca and ends just after Dakar. Both places are specifically identified in the flight as shown here. The globe still fails reality. Even at a shorter distance, under the globe simulation, the stars substantially rise as the viewpoint adjusts for the curvature of the Earth. If the Earth were a globe, then all aircraft maintaining level flight must adjust downward for the curvature of the Earth. The pilot's time lapse of the stars showed us that this downward curvature adjustment does not happen. Therefore, the Earth is not a globe. Thank you for watching.